So I was browsing Netflix for a crappy horror movie or TV show, as I tend to do. Luckily, Netflix is like a landfill for garbage horror movies that nobody wants to watch, and I narrowed it down to two choices. The first was Haunted, which looks like quite possibly the most generic horror show ever devised. You have the creepy little girl, the Exorcist knockoff, the scary clown, the guy screaming, and lasagna monster. And then the last one's just blank. I guess they ran out of pictures. And the second was Blood Ride, which features what I could only describe as a Teletubby that slayed a Demogorgon and now wears its head as a trophy. So obviously, Blood Ride takes the immediate lead here. However, Haunted boasts a much lower IMDb score, weighing in at a 4.6, and I have seen some garbage that has a much higher IMDb score than that. I decided to check out the top user reviews just to see what I was getting into here. This one's for Haunted. These people need help. I don't know if the people telling these stories are actors or if they're real and they believe what they're saying. Either way, this show is freaking depressing. I've watched 2 episodes and both hinge on small children who have suffered neglect and abuse witnessing violent murders. I have a feeling all of the episodes are going to be this way. If these people are real, then what they need is professional help, not a TV show exploiting their trauma and encouraging the delusions they created to cope with it. Just get it out of the way now. This is all fake. There's no way this is real. They are actors. There's no children getting abused. I mean, there probably is somewhere, but that's above my pay grade. If they are just actors, then presenting the storytellers as real and their miserable stories as true is in seriously poor taste. This show is not scary, just sad. I love horror, and I love the types of stories that make me suspend, or even question, my disbelief in the supernatural. This show didn't make me suspend disbelief. It just made me want to get the storytellers to a therapist. This show sounds terrible, which for my purposes makes this an absolutely glowing endorsement. And then we have the review for Blood Ride. Fantastic little surprise. I didn't hear anything about this show. I just saw it on Netflix shows. Weird sentence. Since I love horror movies, I thought I'd give it a try. I like how the episodes are only 30 minutes. It gets right to the point and doesn't drag on. Some of the episodes are better than others. I really liked Seraphis, Three Sick Brothers, and the old school best. I also enjoyed the intro. It's so spooky. To be honest with you, I find I Love Hippos' enthusiasm for this show to be absolutely infectious. I no longer have any urge to mock or insult this show in any way. So I guess we're watching Haunted. Okay, it doesn't really matter because this is an anthology series, meaning each episode is its own self-contained story. But just for the record, I accidentally started at Season 2, Episode 1, because I guess Netflix deemed that a good starting off point for some reason. I thought I was watching Season 1, whatever, doesn't matter. The show starts off with a narration from the protagonist of this episode.
Back in college, my roommates and I were tormented by a thing we called the Mimic.
Then we're greeted by a certifiably spooky intro with lots of scary pictures. But for some reason it ends with this picture of a lady holding a frog. It's pretty weird actually. It goes spooky family, man with head injury, evil clown, whatever this thing is, evil Groot, person getting their head smashed, spooky doll, and then lady holding a frog. Really goes out on a whimper. So this lady's talking to her group of friends about a paranormal event that they went through, which is the basis of the show pretty much. Someone holds a seminar about a supposedly true event that they've been through, and then there's a dramatization woven in between. It's kind of like Intervention, except instead of using people's crippling addictions to make entertainment for the whole family, they just use traumatic events that they've been through. It's all fake, obviously, but same idea.
When I was about 13 years old, I started getting sick. I started to notice that I was feeling faint a lot of the time, no matter how much I ate or drank. The first diagnosis that I had was POTS.
Marijuana?
Which is postural orthostatic tachycardiac syndrome.
Postural orthostatic cardiac syndrome?
Which is kind of embarrassing when you're 17 or 18 years old to have a medical device that's making noises in class.
Yeah, I bet everyone was making fun of you. Can you believe this loser doesn't want to be dead?
It was just such an exciting time for me. I made new friends. I had this super cool boyfriend.
I mean, He seems kinda cool, but let's not oversell it. So her and her friends rent this old, definitely not haunted house, and everything's normal for a bit, but it just gives off an ominous feeling. While painting, she finds this weird stain on the ceiling, which means she really should have checked for water damage before moving in. She hears something calling to her from downstairs and goes to investigate with her trusty paint roller in hand. So if there is an intruder in the home, he's about to get splatooned. But nothing really comes of this. Her friend gets home, there's a little jump scare, the scene ends. But she continues to hear her name be called from the basement. Also, the show has like full on nudity, which only surprises me because I thought it was going for like a scary for 12-year-olds type vibe. So this time, the creepy voice calls her boyfriend downstairs instead. Really a new twist on an old classic. He enters the basement and the door closes behind him. Then, whatever this is, happens. I think the camera's facing the wrong direction. I can't seem to see what's happening. It's also very dark. Please turn the camera around. Director, cinematographer, candle enthusiast. Oh, thank God, that was a really scary noise.
I was absolutely terrified of that basement. I wouldn't go anywhere near it. Brandon decides that he wants to move in with us, and we tell him we don't have any rooms left. He was like, well, what about your basement?
And she lets him move into the basement. Her excuse is that he wouldn't believe her and would just think they don't want him there, which is kind of valid, but after both her and her boyfriend experienced it, you could at least drop a warning. So he's just hanging out in the basement, drumming his legs like a cool dude, when one of the ladies of the house comes down to seduce him.
I thought you might be a little bit lonely down here.
They start making out and the woman starts decomposing, I guess is how I'd put it. And then the guy's like, ew, gross. I kissed PlayStation 2 graphics. And then he jumps back into his bed to hide, and I guess everything's okay because the scene cuts.
I remember seeing you and you were shaking and you were pale. I've never seen you like that. So you told me what happened, and I just felt really violated, and I felt really disgusted.
Wow, way to take this man's traumatic experience and make it all about yourself. They're all still staying in the house, by the way. No biggie.
What the fuck?
It's okay, I understand. I'm also afraid of Jeff Bezos.
And on my floor is just this amorphous puddle.
There is literally no point in referring to a puddle as amorphous. Just call it a puddle, we're not deducting points from your SAT grade. She calls the landlord, who explains that the amorphous puddle of blood is simply from the previous tenant who shot himself. And I guess she just couldn't be bothered to clean it up. Don't mind me, just washing my hair in this strangely lit bathroom. She walks out and the monster's just kinda chilling there. You know, I like this plan. I bet if you just sit there and scream while it crawls towards you, it'll just go away. After like 30 seconds of doing nothing, she finally crawls into the bathroom. And then her boyfriend magically appears out of nowhere. I'm sure this definitely isn't the monster posing as the boyfriend. Okay, nope, never mind. False alarm. Sorry about that, guys. Turns out that's just the end of the episode. They just kind of pack up and move out. She does express concern that the creature lives on in that basement, guarding the 5 pieces of the Forbidden One. She's not gonna do anything about it, but she is concerned. And that's it for Season 2, Episode 1. I guess I'll watch Season 1, Episode 1, since that's what I thought I was watching to begin with.
My life has been a nightmare, and I've had to learn to live with the fact that I'm haunted by the woman in white.
I can't tell if he's talking about a ghost or making a boomer joke.
And a man had come running out of one of the motel rooms, ran up behind him and just hit him in the back of the head with the axe.
Wait a second. That's a sickle. He starts his story telling how he and his family moved into a new apartment, and he had these closet doors that kept opening themselves. Also, why are you brushing your teeth in your bedroom, you freak? And then he starts hearing a voice call his name from the closet. He tries to tell his mom, and she says, "No, you're just hearing the neighbor's TV. Now get out of here. You know I don't like you talking when young Sheldon is on." Then one night, his haunted doors start going absolutely bananas. Like when you accidentally leave a toddler locked in the closet for too long. But when the doors swing open, instead of revealing a traumatized child, it's just this creepy hanging lady. She doesn't really do anything, but having a hanging lady in your closet is certainly less than ideal.
This would happen every night. I needed help.
But not once did you think to ask her if she needed help. You're nice and comfy in your bed. She's the one asphyxiating in the haunted closet.
I made the mistake of going to my father. He punched me in the face. His
Sorry,
response
domestic
was,
abuse is funny.
He punched me in the face.
But honestly, that was more of a backhanded slap. I'm sure it still hurt, but I don't extend my sympathy to liars.
How could a God continue to allow this to happen? Every single night for 6 years.
You're telling me this went on for approximately 2,190 nights, and you've done nothing to try to stop it? Why don't you just block the closet with something? Hang some clothes in there, maybe? The family eventually decides to move out. Has nothing to do with the closet lady. They're just ready to move on. As they're leaving, the maintenance man tells them about the woman who lived there before them, who killed both of her children prior to hanging herself in the closet. Which is just dandy. At this point, I can't help but notice some similarities between the 2 episodes I've watched. Person moves into new, unfamiliar place. Creepy voice calls their name. Creepy voice manifests itself and starts haunting them. Go on to find out that someone killed themselves in the house. I mean, it's not 1-to-1, but they both follow the same general story beats. Back to the show though. He's finally out of the apartment, and he's like, yay, closet lady isn't bothering me anymore. But then one night, while he's riding his bike, he sees her again. While distracted, he gets absolutely smacked by this car. There's still like 7 minutes left at this point, but it's just so pointless. The girl continues to haunt him to this day, and that's pretty much it. The episode was somehow more boring and pointless than the first one. But I must say, the show did teach me one important lesson. Next time, watch the evil Teletubby show.